The height of the COVID-19 pandemic led to heavily depleted pension savings, with the median savings of EPF account holders halved in 2022 as compared to 2019.
8.1 juta ahli ketika COVID telah mengeluarkan 145 bilion ringgit, Timbalan Speaker. Seterusnya, median simpanan semua kaum ahli KWSP daripada tahun 2016, 16.6 ribu ringgit turun 50% kepada 8.1 ribu ringgit pada 2022. Kalau mengikut kaum, median simpanan kaum Melayu 7 juta ahli daripada April 2020 16.9 ribu ringgit, sekarang cuma 5.5 ribu ringgit sahaja untuk ahli Melayu yang 7 juta itu. Ahli Bumi Putera yang lain ada 1.4 juta ahli. Pada tahun sebelum dibenarkan keluar ada 10.6 ribu ringgit, sekarang tinggal 3.3 ribu ringgit sahaja. Jadi macam mana kalau kita nak keluarkan lagi?
Those who pollute and contaminate water sources could see heavier punishments, with a fine of up to 10 million ringgit, which is a 100-fold increase compared to the current penalty of 100,000 ringgit. Natural Resources, Environment and Climate Change Minister Nik Ahmad said the government is in the process of amending the Water Services Industry Act 2006 to combat rampant water pollution.
Bertujuan meningkatkan tempoh hukuman dan kadar denda ke atas tindakan yang berisiko yang menyebabkan pencemaran kepada mana-mana alur air ataupun sistem bekalan air. Dalam hal ini, pindaan melibatkan peningkatan denda daripada 100,000 kepada 10 juta ringgit, manakala hukuman penjara dinaikkan daripada setahun kepada 15 tahun ataupun kedua-duanya sekali.
Nik Nazmi added that a new list of offences will also be proposed to include any act that causes the closure of water supply system or disruptions for the consumers. Additionally, the amendments will also allow water users to claim damage costs from polluters whose acts risk or cause closure or disruption of water supply system. The amendments, he said, are expected to be tabled in the June Parliament sitting. The second series of the Auditor General's Report 2021 released today has identified nearly 158 million ringgit worth of losses, wastage and irregular payments involving public funds. The compliance audit was carried out on 3 ministries and 4 federal agencies, involving over 1 billion ringgit of public funds. The audit disclosed that vehicle import duty on duty-free islands totaling 72.32 million ringgit was not collected by Customs Department in 2021. It was also revealed that a total of 37 million ringgit in social obligation funds for 2021 had not been received by the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Industries. Audits on police also saw 19.58 million ringgit in wastage and irregular payments. The report said that 17.76 million ringgit involved payments that did not comply with contracts, while 1.82 million ringgit concerned fines that were not imposed. Within the healthcare sector, it was estimated that about 1.1 million doses of the COVID-19 vaccine expired in April 2021 were destroyed. The AG report also revealed that 13 million ringgit was wasted in the procurement of 93 unusable ventilators. The report further noted that the state government had not returned a sum of 145 million ringgit secured from the National Trust Fund that had 5 billion ringgit taken out in 2021 to expedite vaccine procurement. Petronas confirmed new seizure orders issued against 2 of its entities in Luxembourg, following a bid by descendants of a former sultanate to enforce a 66 billion ringgit arbitration award. Petronas said in a statement, "The action by the Filipino heirs of the last Sultan of Sulu is baseless, and it will continue to defend its legal position." A French court last year ordered Malaysia to pay $14.9 billion to the heirs to honor a colonial-era land deal. Malaysia, which did not participate in the arbitration proceedings, maintains the process is illegal. It obtained a stay against the award's enforcement in France, but the ruling remains enforceable outside France under a United Nations Treaty on International Arbitration. Last July, 2 Luxembourg-based subsidiaries of Petronas were seized by court bailiffs as part of the heir's effort to enforce the award. But the government said last month that the order had been set aside by a Luxembourg district court. The Batang Kali Legislative Assembly seat has been declared vacant. This comes after incumbent Harumaini Omar was reportedly absent from the assembly for more than 6 months without leave. Selangor Legislative Assembly Speaker Ng Sui Lim said in a statement today that Harumaini was obliged to act in accordance with the Constitution of Selangor 1959. Harumaini is a member of Pejuang. He was elected in 2018 when he stood as a Pakatan Harapan coalition candidate. At the time, he was with Bersatu. Ng pointed out that Harumaini's last appearance at the Selangor State Assembly was July 27 last year. We'll continue after the break. Stay with us.
Cuaca panas menyebabkan kelumomo, minyak dan kegatalan? Clear Men 100% untuk para lelaki. Teknologi anti kelumomo 3 kali ganda. Tiada kelumomo, minyak atau kegatalan. Dingin pada kulit kepala. Clear Men terbukti menewaskan kelumomo.
The death toll in both Turkey and Syria is nearing 42,000 casualties following the deadly earthquake that hit the 2 countries 10 days ago. Many survivors continue to deal with severe injuries, homelessness, and freezing temperatures following the devastations of their homes and neighborhoods. The number of people killed in Turkey has risen to over 36,000, while in Syria, the reported death toll is 5,800, a figure that has changed little in days. Authorities in both countries have not announced how many people are still missing. Authorities also said more than 4,300 aftershocks had hit the disaster zone following the massive earthquake. Relief efforts are transitioning from rescue to recovery as hopes of finding any more survivors fade. TRT correspondent Natasha Hussein reports from Istanbul, Turkey, with the challenges that lie ahead in assessing the damage and to rebuild.
At this point, we're 10 days in, and the rescue officials have yet to reach some areas to help people, and we've reached a point where it's from a rescue effort, unfortunately, it's become a recovery effort at this point. Today, day 10, there have been no new rescues at this point in time, at the time that we're recording. I believe yesterday at 9.5 days in, there was a rescue, but since then, nothing. So in terms of rebuilding, that is going to be a very, very Herculean task indeed, especially since when you look at the visuals, you just see entire areas completely decimated. More than a week on, we have seen more aid being able to reach the area. A lot of roads have been fixed, but there are still many issues in terms of getting aid to these people. Again, we're talking about thousands and thousands of people who have lost their homes, and it's still very, very cold in that region. And for a lot of this aid, once it gets there, there may not be places to actually keep this aid. So we are also seeing reports of aid arriving in the region and just cold weather clothes, food just still being outside. But I think it's a matter of the disaster management authorities there sort of routing the aid properly to the people. Like I said, this is just one of the most somber things for a country to go through. This death toll, some people say, is going to exceed 100,000. And seeing how people here have come together from all walks of life to really help the people in that region. And we have to remember, people there, so tens of thousands of people there are now homeless. They've lost their homes. They're going to have to live in tents. Now what we're dealing with is potentially a secondary disaster of, waterborne diseases, and making sure that these people are warm enough during the winter, because it is very, very cold out there right now.
Meanwhile, the death toll from Cyclone Gabrielle in New Zealand has risen to 5, while over 10,000 have been displaced. Authorities warned of a fresh storm in badly hit areas, with fears the death toll could climb further. 4 days of violent winds and lashing rains caused landslides and widespread flooding, severely affecting network and causing power cuts to hundreds of thousands of households. Police said about 3,500 people had been reported as uncontactable. On Thursday, authorities deployed helicopters to deliver water, food and fuel to cities cut off. The country is under a national state of emergency after Cyclone Gabrielle bore down on its northern coast on Sunday. The cyclone has faded into the Pacific, but New Zealand's Met Service warned of further downpour of up to 40 millimeter per hour in eastern areas which are already flooded. Sustainability has become a priority with the advent of ESG concepts that underline growing market drivers in ASEAN. What are the interests and challenges for Malaysian companies, including the small and medium enterprise SMEs, in the transition to be sustainable? We ask Benjamin So from Singapore fintech company Stax for his regional insights.
Of course, there is a lot of interest in the region, namely ASEAN, for companies to be more sustainable. And I think ASEAN has a very unique proposition, which is there are a lot of common links along the entire supply chain in ASEAN. So there are many industries that actually cross the few countries in ASEAN, and we make up a very strong supplier base to other countries in the EU or North America. So of course, there's a lot of interest for us to be sustainable. However, being a supply chain across many countries do allow us to actually see some challenges, whereby it's largely in the need to have common standards and data interoperability. So I think the good news is that we already have some progress. So for example, in the area of finance, there is an ASEAN common taxonomy for sustainable finance, which will therefore help to drive sustainability in the various industry standards, okay, so that the financial sector can be able to serve them better.
Locally, Benjamin said key companies such as Bursa Malaysia and Bank Negara Malaysia have played a pivotal role in encouraging Malaysia's transition to sustainability.
So I've been reading some reports recently, and I think they did a comparison of the various countries, and Malaysia is actually coming up near the top, okay, in ASEAN. I think that's a lot to do with the various initiatives that's available right now. So for example, I think Bursa Malaysia, for example, they have enhanced sustainability reporting framework to aim to raise the sustainability practices and disclosure of listed issuers in 2022. And besides that, besides enhancing the framework, they also publish many guidebooks on sustainability reporting. Okay, that actually enables the companies, especially those that are listed in Malaysia, to be able to have a better way to do their sustainability reporting. And besides the exchange, Central Bank Negara Malaysia, they have also launched the LCTF, or Low Carbon Transition Financing Facility. Yep, so whereby it's actually providing a facility for companies that are embarking on low carbon transition. So I think there are a lot of these initiatives at the public sector level that is therefore helping these companies in Malaysia, or to be on the right track for transition. For SMEs to really be able to be on track. Okay, I guess one more thing that needs to be in place are technology enablers, because some people might equate getting sustainable to have a cost. And that's where I think technology can come in and provide a better, support and tool so that we can be able to lower this cost of adoption.
Now that ends the show for tonight. Thanks for watching. My name is Soraya Mia. We'll see you tomorrow.